And how's it going? Welcome to the Faned Football Show. It'll be a strange time of day to have it broadcast for once, but it's in daylight hours and we'll be all the fresher looking, I'm sure. So, Shane, good to have you back on board. I was a lonely boy for my Isaac Deal Day video, but I'm happy to see you were wrong that day and the deal got over the line.
Thank you. I missed an action last week. I suppose as the time Solskjaer was asked who was going to win the City on the league that time, I'll go with Isaac as well, as I couldn't care less, because it just means the league's even more wrapped up. So, and maybe Europe as well. So fair play, he's got it over the line. So savage signing.
And are you happy with the fee handed over?
I think they could have pushed for more, to be honest. But in this day and age, I suppose maybe that's because it's obvious that they both player and club wanted it to happen, and Newcastle didn't want it to happen. But I think that meeting that happened between them obviously didn't go very far. So I thought they could have pushed for the 150 to see with Liverpool if we kept going on deadline day. But I think maybe that half an eye on Gahey as well. So they could have just, with the January window and with Liverpool already in a good position already, I think they could have afforded to let him go until January. Can you play in the next round of the Champions League now, or are you still cup tied? Did that rule change?
Who's this in regard to if he plays in the Conference League?
No, if Isaac had played for in the Champions League. So Newcastle are in the Champions League, aren't they?
It's a good thing they haven't kicked the ball yet in the Champions League. So that's not a fact.
But are you cup tied, or does it go? Does it become null and void after the group stages?
It's a really grey area. Like you could hypothetically say the rules change from when the playoff round is finished and then the competition proper gets going. I would think it's possibly two different entities, because I'd imagine really a club's priority is get into the competition, and then they can accept a big massive offer that altogether changes the fortunes of a smaller club. Just to pull a name out of the ether, like a Victoria Plitzen could sell their star player once they get into the group stages and set themselves up financially for 4 or 5 years. So that player, having played probably 2 rounds of qualifying, gets into the competition proper, would hopefully benefit from a different set of rules and not be cup tied in the now proper competition. But I would have to say I'm still unsure whether if you played in the autumn time for one club, moved, would you still be eligible to play for another club in the springtime? I'm not 100% sure, Shane. We just need to see something in practice, I suppose. If there's transactions between Champions League clubs and it pops up.
Well, no, but all in all, good to get it over the line. I do think he'll like to go to Houston in a couple of years' time when Madrid or Barca come calling. So we'll see that clown in Dublin, if he can, for the agenda fella, losing the run on himself again. And he told Newcastle fans to stay in their lane and know their place in football. And
do you think he's a jersey burner?
Oh Jesus, aye. Has he not? I think somebody did write an article on him that he has. He turned down Madrid as a teenager, and then who was he? Was it Sociedad he was with? And then
come here. As a teenager, he's Willem II, and he's like, I don't know where he ends up then before he goes to Dortmund. So it's Dortmund I started paying attention to him, because he's like the Lewandowski replacement initially, and then it goes sort of well enough that he gets the La Liga move, and it's sort of seen him. He doesn't really light things up in La Liga initially. Mind you, he has a fairly big involvement in a game where Sociedad beat Real Madrid. It's really, really funny. Tony Cruz's comments on his podcast that he's not 100% sure that everyone will know who Alexander Isaac is. Well,
Sheesh.
Tony, you might have had a bit of a bad day against Isaac, and funnily enough, Zubimendi one day. So might want to just clear out the cobwebs a wee bit, Tony.
Pound. Sorry, go ahead.
So just in regard to the whole thing, I'm look, 6-year deal is impressive for a 25-year-old. So that says to me we're looking way down the line beyond Mohamed Salah's time. So whether he hacks the GOAT and looks to be Kylian Mbappe's strike partner down the line, not for me. Can't really see it. I think as a Swede, he's got different principles and morals, and he'll quite happily see himself as up there with number 9s like Ian Rush and Fernando Torres, hopefully.
Well, me, I don't buy into the Haaland hype. And if people are watching this podcast, I don't go against the grain on every top man. I just don't believe in blowing steam up one's ass. Without, look, Haaland's an unbelievable finisher, but I just think his overall play isn't. It's not there. I think Yusuf signed the best striker in the world, bar none. As a number 9, I know Mbappe as an attacker, I'll be deemed the best, but it's mad that you had a man that literally wiped the floor, who I don't rate that highly, but and Salah that just wiped the floor of the whole league, and it's you're going and improve that much. Now maybe United were doing it in the 90s and 90s, and maybe it was just taken as a given, but I didn't think you would have. I thought that who up front that I can't pronounce. He looks very decent too, so I thought you might have stopped at him. But unless he just moves out to the left now. But plus, there's a lot of games we play it too, so you're in an unbelievable position. As I've said a couple of times already, it's a bad year for me to be starting a podcast with a Liverpool man, but an unbelievable signing. I think he'll go down as one of the best signings, as in within the league. The likes of, I know Van Persie was only there for a year, roughly, but you don't need transform, but at the same time, he'll be that transformative that I can't see anybody winning the league for the next 3 to 4 years. Like, as I was saying to you earlier on, that clown that Arsenal signed, mother of God. United have signed some duds, and thank God. Maybe Sesko's a dud, but Jesus Christ, Gyökeres looks fucking hell.
Did you get a look at him last night, did you?
I seen a bit of the game, and I watched highlights then, and I know them highlight reels or low light reels, whatever you call them, can be a bit harsh in a man too, but God, he looks awful. He doesn't even look average, he just looks awful. And like, they're rhyming on about that goal he scored against Leeds. It's like an old goal you would score there, when, like, I don't know what goal that was. That the fourth and a 5-0 one, was it? Did he score? I think he scored the last two. Maybe I'm wrong on that now, but
I think he got number 2 and number
right.
Number 2 and number 4, I think.
Yes, I mean, look, did he do much against us? I didn't see that. Didn't see the Liverpool Arsenal game, but he might bully. He's a bit like Lukaku. He has the flat track bully. He might, like, he has the build of Lukaku as well. I don't see it at all. The thing about adapting to a new league. Look, he's playing with Sweden for years. He didn't. Who were they playing last night? They weren't even playing that. Who were they playing last night? They could beat 2-1 or 2-0. Oh, 2-0 they could beat. Jeez, I can't mind now. Was it Kosovo they were playing? I think it was Kosovo. I mean, they're
indeed Kosovo in Kosovo, and they're beating 2-0. So that's alarming for a Sweden team. And Kosovo down to 10 then?
Aye, late on, I think, guy. But like Sweden, Or no, sorry, they're not in Scotland's group, are they? It's Denmark that's in Scotland's group. Aye, because I heard this morning, because Denmark won last night, because Denmark's favourites to top their group. I thought it might have been Sweden.
They're in a group with Switzerland and Slovenia.
Both are Slovenia. I don't know. Slovenia, I don't know. They won last night. I think they did one later on.
No, Slovenia's.
I don't know. I don't. Yeah,
they got beaten 3-0 by Switzerland. So Switzerland's.
Oh Jesus! Yes.
So we're getting a wee bit away from the point there, but as we say, Victor Gyökeres, despite a furnishing of a nice win for Arsenal against Leeds, he's flattered to deceive so far, and perhaps another man that you would suggest that the pre-season was a wee bit interrupted in trying to secure the move. That being said, he achieved his move to London a lot earlier than Isaac got his move. So as much as the temptation is to hold Isaac back, a number of weeks now, I just wouldn't be just dropping him straight in against Burnley. To say Gyökeres, could be up to speed a bit better, I think it's a fair statement. I'm pretty sure he's been with Arsenal now for much of August, right through till now. So to say he's not up to speed, I think unacceptable. Is there top level striker in there? Geez, you'd want to hope so for your Arsenal if it was the missing piece for season upon season there. So they're still for me the number one challenger for the title, because you put up that squad, and the squad that they've assembled, it is actually remarkable. Team A to Team B, like when you've got White and Timber, jostling it for right back, and you've got Gabriel and Mosquera, and you've got Saliba and probably White again, and you've got Calafiori, and you've got Lewis Skelly, and then you've got in midfield the wealth of options: Zubamendi, Norgard, Rice, Odegaard, Marino, Nwaneri. Then the forward options, unbelievable: Saka, Madueke, Martinelli, Trossard, Havertz, Gyökeres. Fairly well furnished and well built squad where they'll still be going late on. But fuck me, it did feel pivotal on Sunday week ago when Liverpool just with the classier bit of set piece work, they got over the line. So don't know if you got around to catching up on that game, but I just felt from a game that was destined to end 0-0 and fulfill Arteta's plan, it was just the moves by Arne Slot that just said, no, we're going to win this game. There's 3 points to be taken. And they went ahead and took them. Marvellous free kick by Dominic Szoboszlai, just showing he has that in the locker. And then it's absolutely hilarious then Wirtz sticks one in then against Northern Ireland. We've got abundance of set piece takers now, despite the loss of Trent. It's remarkable, Shane.
I'll pick you up on a couple of things there. Arsenal from well, I don't know what to say about the keeper, but particularly their back four and their midfield, pound for pound, is as good as what's in the league. Probably overall as a 7. Better than Liverpool. You might have one or two Liverpool men you might drop in through it, but it's up top that like they're all just grand. I think down to the years United had all these players, exciting young English players, and the likes of Rashford and what do you call them, Welbeck, and all these fellas. They all just reached a certain ceiling and they stopped. I find that with Saka. I don't. Saka would no doesn't need. It's not a. Maybe he needs somebody to finish off his chances. Maybe he creates a wild pile and they're just not finished. Martinelli's grand. Havertz, to me, he's a failed midfielder, and they just shoehorned him up there. Whatever with Yockers, I don't know, but no, that's where Arsenal. And look, that's why he plays to his strengths, is because they can keep clean sheets. Arteta's, I don't know, it's to have that amount of money spent on one manager, and that's what he comes up with. As like he done it against United as well. It was if United had a scarecrow nets that day, Arsenal wouldn't have scored. If you almost have $1 billion spent by one man, and I have to say that because there's people who say United have spent $1 billion and beyond, but that's over clearing up other men's mistakes. But if you've given a man 7 seasons and $1 billion, and your Crystal Palace manager has already matched you on title or on trophies by probably spending about 700,000, I don't understand how he's got the time that he's got. But anyway, we're not going into that rabbit hole. I think it's a sad indictment of the league that's the chasing pack, that your main threat as a man that has hopefully won and 1-0 by corners or free kicks. To be honest, I think there's one word for that. That's pathetic. Sam Allardyce got destroyed for that for years. So why is Arteta being allowed to get away with it and be called whatever he's called, this great manager and so on, and he's proven this. He's to be, pardon me language, he's proved fuck all. Apart from, as Mourinho called Wenger in the past, an expert in failure, that's what I would call Arteta. And as I say, it doesn't look great for the league that you're chasing back. Look, City, God knows what's happening with Pep. City are going to know where near. Chelsea's going to blow one team away 1 week 5-0, and they could get beat 3-0 the next week. So Liverpool are, the sensible thing to do is, to me, Liverpool will, if they can beat a lot of low blocks they're up against, get the game wrapped up early on, take your good players off and save them for Europe. I'm not saying it to be reverse psychology or anything, but Liverpool could actually win the lot this year if they wanted to. And not at their ease maybe in Europe, but be 1 or 2 big hitters at the end. But the rest of it, they could easily win the next domestic treble. Easily. And as I say, I'm not saying that just to be an ass and hopefully it doesn't come through, but I don't see anything stopping them. There's nothing good enough to stop them. I'm surprised. I've said for long enough about Pep. I'm shocked Pep didn't go. They didn't try and muscle in an Isaac. They have Haaland, I suppose it'll look bad, but to be fair, he did sign a goalkeeper and replaced him within a fortnight, so it's not outside his realm to replace a man right away anyway. So, get Isaac, they can well afford it, and have Haaland, Mamouche, the whole shebang. It's normal enough. So, no. In summary, I suppose, from your first point, an excellent signing, unbelievable signing. And I think you mightn't need him, but Gahey is definitely the final piece of the jigsaw. That's just, it's hard for me to say it, but the dominance could be scary for the next at least 5 years.
Just on that last point, Mark Gahey, do they go back for him in January? Would you think what kind of money it would take to get him 6 months early, or do you just bite the bullet now and really show Palace up and take him as a free agent?
The only worry, and look, I was listening to TalkSport today, and your man, he's some financial expert on. God knows what they agreed on yesterday to drop their thing against the league. God knows. He said that they definitely would have got something. I reckon all their legal fees are paid for. So they lost the case and they got the legal fees paid for. Jesus, have you ever seen corruption like it? But we know that's what it is. But they tried to push through £1 billion sponsorship deal from Etihad. That's what kicked this off. They weren't allowed to put it through. Now it's to be over I think it's 12 years. It's going to be. I mean, that's. If you ever heard sport, it's like literally taking it out. It's your mother finding money in one pocket and put it into another pocket. It's insane what they're allowed to do, and insane what the likes of Newcastle aren't allowed to do. So where I'm going to that is that I don't think Pep will stay, but City's going to have to go massive again. And if they get all this brushed onto the carpet, the likes, it's like who knows what Haaland's getting paid really. there could be stupid money floating about with City again next summer, and a stupid signing on fee, stupid wages for Gahey. Because Gahey, to be fair to him, is probably the best English defender at the minute. That's the only worry I would have. So if I was Liverpool, I would just go and get him in January. You're going to get him now, surely, at 10 million less. So he's definitely worth 20 million. I know it's only 4 or 5 months of a contract, but look at, I would just worry that City, if City see that Liverpool are going to pull away, I think it could get out of hand what they're going to start doing. Although I know it's out of hand now, but it could get worse. So on the line of Gahey, I would definitely go for him now again in January, because he wants to go anyway. So I don't think he's not going to command a while. It might be bonus related wages, but I don't think he's going to act the goat on the wages part of things. To lose out on a big signing on fee and that.
Well, I'll tell you something. Obviously, if there's a bit of a gap established at the top come Christmas time, it'd be really, really hard to not see Gahey down tools and protest for his immediate transfer for something like 10 million, I would say, in January. So I think it's a realistic possibility. Just when you're going to lose a superstar in the month of January to AFCON, maybe just replace it with a superstar to kind of cover it in the defensive side, where maybe you lose a goal or two over the piece up at the top of the pitch, but you prevent a goal or two at the back end of the piece, which sort of tips the scales in favour of maintaining pace and don't lose out on anything. Proves a frugal move. And when you're warning that Pep comes again for City, I just wonder when the exhaustion sets in for him, because the exhaustion set in for Jurgen Klopp, who had obviously the harder job in getting to a league title than Pep had. I just wonder where the appetite to keep coming back is, like, because they did spend money. I mean, Reinders, Nico Gonzalez, Ryan Cherky, Trafford, Donnarumma, they've not sat still. They've they've padded out the squad again quietly, and it's still, to me, despite all that, it's still a team that's hanging on the Rodri involvement. So it's an annoyance, and a major one, that they would still be a factor that's not going to go away. And still, I really am not sure what the hell the verdict is going to come out. Like, obviously they've lost, and obviously the full weight of the law isn't happening, because that news would already be out. There must be some kind of under the table massive fine or something of the like that they're able to suspend, paid over a term. I'm purely speculating, but like, it's unbelievable. We thought, really, this is the example that they're going to hold up now for the FFP model and the PCR regulations now, PSR regulations now, that this is what happens when you try and cook, and this is what happens when you try and do it through illegal channels. This is what will happen to your football club. It'll more or less cease to exist as a top level club, and you'll have to start again. That would be my wish, but I'm not going to get that. It seems, again, now the player at the table is too big to fall. So he's just been dealt back in. He's bought back in, and away he goes to attempt to come for the house again. So Shane, not to be absolutely dominant in the conversation, I would like to talk about Manchester United for a change, because on a bit more of a positive face of it, they gathered themselves to outperform Burnley at the weekend, and a couple of men stood out to be excellent on the day, and Brian Mbomo certainly got rid of the horrible memory of missing the decisive penalty against Grimsby, and he scores an excellent goal against Burnley. And the unshakable character of Bruno Fernandes sticking away a penalty way into injury time. Now, I would like to speak about one incident in the game that I'm a little bit annoyed about. There might be another little incident in the game where I would just like a bit of clarification from yourself. But just a quick review what you saw from Man United on Saturday, week ago.
Well, I didn't watch the game live. I just watched the highlights now. But as they say, ifs and buts ruin a good story. But just like against Fulham, they should have been 3 or 4 up at half time. That's just where it wrangles me about Amarin's system. When a manager picks 11 men and he tells them out you go, there's certain things he can do within a game. Change is fair enough. Maybe, I know he doesn't change the system, but maybe the odd send a man marking for 10 minutes or sit deep. The usual oil, even Donegal League shouts and that, they're there. But he for men missing chances and easy, like Ahmed missed a chance. It did come at him quick, but there's not an awful lot he can do with that. And if United go to, tell you what, did it go on up by Fernandes? Did he miss the penalty in? Did he? Or no? Odds against Fulham, sorry. He missed against Fulham and play. But a manager can do nothing about that, especially easy chances. And, a game at 2-0, it's a completely different game. You allow a team back into it and that, and it's just, I hate the narrative that's against him on his system. United they were decent, but it is bad, and Scholes have said it. It's bad that standards are as low as that you're looking at them. Oh, they've done well against Burnley, but I suppose you can't always be looking at it in a negative point of view either. United should have been definitely 3 up before any goal was pulled back. And look, a 3-0 game, there's not many teams lose games from 3-0 up, so they need to be more prolific. Sesko, I was harsh on Gyökeres so far. Sesko's done nothing for me. I don't understand players, professional footballers, being rusty or getting up to speed to play. Look, it's your job, and I'm not quoting Roy Keane saying that. I'm saying just go and do it. A touch of a football is a thing you develop at 4, 5, 6 years of age. Kicking ball with your father. That's such a cop out for players to come into a league and say, "Oh, he's rough." Stop it. Just either have it or you don't. It's funny. Good players don't lose a good touch. I would put my hat on it that any of the silkier players going in their time, Messi could have been missing for 3 months and he could have came back and you wouldn't know he was out at all. So Sesko needs to start. You might give a man a game or two and leave it at that, but no, he needs to start. And Bueno's been very, very good now, to be fair. And Cunha's been very good. I don't know how bad his injury is, but been very good. The midfield is still a massive, massive issue. I mean, the club's put out the bullshit now that they'll definitely sign a midfielder in January. It's easy saying that, after the window closes. They should have signed. I think they tried Conor Gallagher alone. I would have taken him. Just a different body in there, because, again, Manu's running about saying that he needs time and he wasn't great against Grimsby, and he was a wee bit more control in midfield when he came on against Burnley, but still not enough to ask for. If you're in any walk of life and you're on minimum wage here, €14 an hour, and you asked for €140 an hour based on being slightly above average at your job, Jesus Christ, the country would sink. So, no, Manu needs to keep his mouth closed for a while and earn his contract. Because I think he is working off the premise as that he might push for this move again in January, whether it be on loan or whatever. But he's doing himself no favours at all. And that's howling United back. To say, not him, Jesus, he's not a scapegoat in my eyes, but no, Fernandez stood tall now, to be fair. As I say, a man shouldn't miss from 12 yards, but that's not an easy thing to do, I'm sure, not at that level of a game either. So credit where it's due there and that. But I don't know. There's still a lot of. Then again, if they got a decent somebody to put their foot in the ball in midfield, United would improve an awful lot. Games are won in midfield, so it's not a simple place to play by any stretch. But at the same time, the men that's there, they should be better in midfield anyway. With the players that's there, but it's wild frustrating to watch. Maybe it's because it's the level of player that United have. You'll watch United playing live, and you'll watch an opposing midfielder having a savage game every game. There's a man used to be savage against, I think he's away Everton now, is it Doucouré? That man looked like he was, he was everywhere. And you look then at the United men, and they're like wee children running after him. It's a long time since I've seen a United midfielder dominate a game. And I'm chatting, I don't even know when Carrick retired. Like Pogba had the ability, but he never done it. It's sad that it's over a decade since I've seen a man commanding the midfield. Over a long period of time. And maybe glimpses in a game, but that's brutal for the money that they have spent, that they don't have. Like every team should have a good spine, and they just don't. So I don't know what. Like they've City now. United have actually a very good. I think they've. I don't know who's at home this weekend, but I think it's at the Etihad. I think. They beat them last year. There, City. I wouldn't be frightened of City at all. Definitely not.
Etihad. They're always a bet at Etihad that they much better there than they do at Old Trafford in the derby.
Yes. City. No, City wouldn't. Like I would, if I was facing you this weekend, you'd be like, you're behind the sofa stuff. But City, you would like double chance on the betting. United is definitely worth a shout. I don't see City.
United's certainly not a lost hope this weekend. No, I would.
No.
I'd always fancy them going to Etihad. To be honest, it's just the style they wanted to deploy will work against City. What
was the decisions that you? Was it the offside or the?
So can we go to the penalty first? So Ahmad is obviously pulled back, and the foul begins outside the box, and it looks like Ahmad falls into the box. I'm slightly concerned that should be a free kick outside the box. Shane, what's your view?
Well, with the United head on, no, it should be a penalty, but no, you're right. If it was given against you, you would lose the plot. As a player, if you did start pulling a man's jersey and he just kept going, then all of a sudden he dropped down because he's inside the box. No, you're right. That's a clear and obvious mistake. That's where VAR should say, look, it happened, because the same thing as a slight tackle. Even if you clip him outside and he lands inside, well, the tackle's outside the box. So no, in my opinion, the penalty shouldn't have been given. It's a foul, but it's not a penalty. So they definitely got away with one there. But as I've often said, things even themselves out. You have the Arsenal one that they should have got. So United's 1-for-1 at the minute. The offside. I hate the way that they don't show.
Can I just ask as well? Lyle Foster given offside. It looks like by the 3D lines now, the 3D render that they have now, it looks like they have drawn the line through his bicep. Now, to my eye, that's the t-shirt line, and you cannot score with that. So if that part of Lyle Foster's body was offside, that's not a goal-scoring part of your body. So he's not, in fact, offside. Your thoughts on that one, please, Shane.
The annoying thing with that now, and I far rathered it the way that it was that you got to look across the line yourself when they drew the lines. Now, they took their age to draw the lines and so on, but that new system, although it seems to be quicker and it probably is more matter of fact for the most part, think
it's funny you say that. The lines takes the argument out of it, because the lines at least show a gap. The lines will show a gap. But I'm just saying the new technology, which is from the Dutch, the Dutch rule, or from UEFA's implementation, that's been in the Champions League for a couple of years, where the Hawkeye technology 3D renders where both players are on the pitch, and it draws a line through both, and it looks like they've drawn a line through Lyle Foster's arm, and where they've drawn it go across to the last United player, his arm is playing, because you can defend with your arm. You can't play the ball with your arm, but you can certainly hold somebody back in a fair manner with your arm. So I have huge issues with the offside given for that goal.
Well, I don't like you can't see what's, as I say, with the lines you're able to see. As a fan looking at the game, you're able to at least throw more an opinion on it, if nothing else. But again, it's not clear and obvious. It's so, just take it into, if you missed if you missed something, like, it's the same thing as I don't know who was on about it there. It must have been after the Chelsea game, going so far back to find a foul. Should it be that it should be the last, coming together of opposing teams? If there's a foul there, fair enough, pull it back. If a man lunges in and there was a tackle or whatever, but having to go back to 2 or 3 contacts before that, it's making the balls of the game. And it's a couple of years now since I went to a game, but it must be horrible being in the stadium now.
I think I think the Fulham one might be the worst of the lot.
Aye.
You've seen that, yeah?
Aye. It's horrible.
You've seen the Muniz Zidane. You've seen his Zidane ball roll.
Yes.
And he just happens to stand on Chiloba's foot. It's not a foul. It's just where his foot lands after doing his pirouette. There's nothing wrong with the goal.
No.
VAR official Michael Salisbury was stood down then for the Arsenal-Liverpool game the next day.
And like, as I was saying in TalkSport,
John Brooks on VAR, so they admitted their horrendous mistake. Shane, the looking at the decision added on so much time to the end of the first half. Chelsea scored.
Aye. Outside of the allocated time as well too.
No wonder Silva is going absolutely bananas at halftime.
Aye. Like, I haven't seen any of them yet, but they're doing them halftime interviews with players. I think, and look, I know one man in the middle. Well enough, fucking he has VAR now to help him. The referee should face an interview after the game, particularly if there's a massive thing like that. We all enjoy a wee flutter as well, but VAR has kind of destroyed. I see even live score now have started. It's only I think they're only doing it in the Premier League so far. Even if your goal's disallowed, they're paying out on the bet. So if you have Salah to score first and it's disallowed, they're paying out on it. Whether they're not going to change the rules of football, but it has made a balls of it. As in, you think if you're on goals or whatever, and you think it's come in, and then you look then the screen, then all goal disallowed, and then you'll wait then to the evening time to see what it's for. And like, if you had your man for Fulham to score first, I'm sure he was decent out of odds too. And I know football's not about making money on it, but it's a massive part of the game.
Oh Jesus! As many people's highlight of the week. I'm sorry. It's a huge. It's a huge factor of the game at the minute. Half the sponsors in the Premier League are betting companies. So
well, that's it.
That's a monstrous factor. So to add insult to injury, so the decision takes so long to look at. I think it's 7 minutes of stoppage times added to the first half, which is obscene in itself. So Chelsea score at the death. The next half, so again, horrific set of decisions in the lead up. So horrible Caicedo stamp, João Pedro handball, and then a shot hit at the Fulham defender who seems to be making himself bigger, and he's actually just turning away from the ball. Penalty. There is 2 fouls in the lead up to the decision that would have chalked that off and 3 out to Fulham. There's a horrendous stamp by Casado. That's way worse than the Nunez stamp on Chalobah, which is.
I see on the actual handball then that was given against them. I have an awful problem with making yourself bigger. You know, it's like even going back to the night United put PSG out. We all know if you jump, even you're out messing about outside, never mind football, there's ways your arms be and so on. I think unless a ball travels a certain distance and you move your arm towards it, or else maybe if you're on the line, I know maybe you're taking too many different bits into it there, but if a ball's hit at you and you're jumping or sliding or whatever, and it's hit at a fair old force, every shot's going to be hit at a fair force now, and it comes off you maybe a yard or a yard and a half away. That's not a penalty. You didn't go out to handle the ball. I know there's probably too many grey areas in it for them to clear up, but they're making the game worse, and it should be the technology should be helping the game forward. But as they were saying, as Danny Murphy was saying, they had the perfect opportunity after the Liverpool game? What did they make a Hames off the week before it?
Oh, sure, there was always. Sure, it was the handball against Bournemouth, and sure, then what was it at Newcastle then?
Aye. But there was something anyway. And
a couple of bad challenges that didn't go on. Went on.
Aye, as Danny was saying, that would have been a perfect opportunity for the ref to say, "Look, no, he does land on his foot, but move on. The goal's given." Yeah. That ref had the opportunity. He says, "Look, VAR do what they do." He says,
when he pops on live, and he said that it passes the threshold of too much force. I couldn't believe that. It's like,
no,
are you being told to say that? Because that's not what you saw. You couldn't have saw that. Like, pull out your earpiece and watch that, and just see the fabulous Nunez, and he plays in Joshua King, and the movement from King as well is superb then to finish it.
Aye, and look,
destroying football is a strong phrase, but bloody hell, they did a lot to spoil that game for the early kickoff on Saturday.
Well, like Fulham they're a decent outfit. Sure. Things like that, an apology means nothing. Look, Liverpool are on the tail end of needing apologies a couple of times during Klopp's era, and maybe remove apologies out of the game and get decent decision makers, and you could have won a couple of leagues. It's a nice side of things, fair enough. But like Chelsea, say if Chelsea go on now to give you a rattle of the league, they fraudulently, who knows what happens in the second half, but through refereeing decisions, they've definitely gained a point. Well, they gained 3, but they could have ended up a draw. But at the end of the day, they ended up with 3 points because of refereeing decisions. It's, as I say, it's better it should be getting, not worse. So I don't know what they're going to do. Howard Webb seems to be a clean disaster. So,
as I say, they stand one down and they put one just as bad in its place. So it's getting no better. And Jesus,
no,
it's got to end with Howard Webb. The Howard Webb era is absolutely laden with mistake after apology after mistake after apology, and the product is becoming thoroughly unwatchable for the average viewer. I don't know how today's game ever interests the average viewer. League of Ireland will be a far more entertaining watch than some of the pretentious Premier League games now. They're built to be brilliant. Nonsensical rules applied then. So look, moving on, Shane, charity bet time, and we lost you the last day, and I'm sure that accumulator would have been absolute gold.
What have I picked? Oh, well, I have one picked for the night. I'm gonna surely to God Ireland won the night.
I'm with you.
They're 17-20 with me, and the draw in the Serbia-England game, because England are atrocious to watch. They're not exactly going to put. I think Serbia will score, but I also think England will score.
England's home imposed, so they surely go experimental tonight.
Yes, so maybe Serbia 3-1 at home maybe is a good shout, but 23-10 the draw, and then over 2.5 in the Norway-Moldova game. It's just above 6-1. So I think I know the draw is a bit iffy. You don't know how it goes, but again, a ref could decide something like that. But I think the other two are solid enough.
I think Ireland's going to Armenia, and I think you have to take huge encouragement from what they did against Hungary. I know it would have been a real position of difficulty to come back from where they did the other night, and they were thoroughly entertaining. There was a sustained 35-minute bashing of Hungary from Ireland, and I've never seen anything like it from the Irish team, and that was fabulous. Jesus, I was filled with so much pride watching that the other day, and like, geez, there's some brave talent to admire now in this Ireland team, and like Callum Ferguson, the joy. So Ireland to go to Armenia and win 1-0, 5-1. It's getting my charitable €5 bet tonight.
Yes.
So I would like to put that one up.
Aye. The reason going to Norway are 1-16, so I'm assuming Haaland will be playing.
I'm sure it's all important for them to win tonight. So all the big guns, Haaland, Odegaard.
Like Haaland to score a hat-trick 6-1. So I know there's not many international strikers who score hat-tricks right now, but and to be honest, I didn't watch that. I've an awful disdain for international football.
Just as a goal scorer as well for Ireland, the 1-0 is 5-1. Ryan Manning free kick.
Right.
Flyer.
Who does Ryan Manning play his football with? Genuinely, I don't know many of the Ireland players now at all.
It's not Premier League.
I heard somebody saying the last day that there's actually more players playing the Premier League now than there ever has been Irish players. Is there a few at Bournemouth and at Brentford?
Southampton. I'll put that one up anyway for you. Ireland 1-0. Ryan Manning.
I wonder, can I add them as a selection with me Norway one?
Get creative with it, Shane. Get creative with it. Boost it up.
What do I see? Where are we? How do you, Ryan? Is it Ryan Manning? Oh, there he is. There. Anytime. Or no, I suppose we can go anytime.
Scorecast. Jesus will be meant if this comes in now.
And what? One.
He hit a nice one against Hungary. So it just put it in my mind. Free kicks are flying in all over the place now. So
yes,
just always screams of like real difficulty going to the far eastern stretches of Europe. Not a huge
Yes.
amount. Georgia comes to mind. They were quite good in Georgia. I know a fantastic Aidan McGeady long shot to win out there one year. I just fancy them, and I just fancy it'll be bashing at the door job again, and there'll be a foul in the edge of the box, and Ryan Manning will stand over it.
I'm struggling to find scorecast here on. Hold on, what the hell? Where the hell scorecast be? It'll be goals. Scorecast. I would have said I might have it here. Right. Ryan Manning, we can find him now. $16-1 and they can win 1-0, 2-0, or 2-1. How many scores anytime?
That's a nice little clean sheet. Win, and your player has a score.
That doubled with 3 goals in the Norway game as 20-1.
That's cool.
That's definitely worth a wee five anyway.
Let's go. Love it. Absolutely love it.
Aye. No. We'll get her on. Right, Casey McAteer. I don't know these players at all. Jesus. I know that's bad my part now, but
Maggie Johnson.
Yes. He's 10-1.
Oh, well, he's not going to start.
Evan Ferguson to score.
Andy Smolek's still on the list because I think he went home.
I don't see him.
Yeah.
But I see Evan Ferguson to score and it to be 1-2 or 3-0 as sevens isn't too bad either.
Yeah.
But
I keep it real. Keep it realistic. He might be because he was fairly punching against Hungary as well. So just not fancy Keller for a clean sheet for sure. So Ireland won by the goal.
No, a good shout.
Whoever you like. So look, Shane, a good 53 minutes spent there. It was long overdue getting another one out there, and happy to get it over the line. And it's been a pleasure.
Yes, good man. We'll see how that goes tonight then.
Yes, indeed. So everyone, thanks for joining us. We'll talk to you later.
Good luck, mate. We are about to die.